أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. والحمد لله. Alhamdulillah. In our last session, we looked at three new letters: ta, hamza, and dha, and then we did some reading practice with those new letters in the mix. Today, inshallah, as I mentioned at the end of the last lesson, we're going to actually look at our fourth letter of Qalqalah, which is the letter ta. So ta, hamza, and dha are the three letters we did, and ta is a letter of Qalqalah. So now we have four letters of Qalqalah: qaf, ta, no, ta, ba, jim, and dal. Ta, ba, jim, and dal. We have one more to go, and that's the letter qaf. And that, interestingly enough, I think not in the next session, but the session after that, we will introduce the letter qaf. And that will then mean we will have completed all five letters of Qalqalah. And obviously, the letter of Qalqalah is a tajweed rule, or the rule of Qalqalah is a tajweed rule. The rule that when a letter of Qalqalah gets a sukoon, we read it with a slight jerk, slight echo. Okay, so let's jump straight into this session, inshallah. And we'll read these five lines here. And then also in this lesson, we will look at the letter hamza with sukoon, which is very, very similar to, in fact, exactly the same as the alif with sukoon, because hamza and alif are two letters that are basically the same thing. Okay, so let's jump straight into this. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ستة, right? أردت, جدت, ضدت. So remember the dha is slightly round. The dhal will be the, but this is a dhi, ضدت, ضدت, بت, بت, لط. All right, not lut, 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 nat. All right, that's a round mouth. You want to round the mouth to get the correct pronunciation of the ta. Dut, kit, fit, at, shit, ut. Here we have the, dhit, dhit. Here we have dhit, dhit, and the, dhit, dhit. So this one here, dhit and dhit. All right. Tat, fit, sut, again the round mouth for the sad. Sut, khit, zit, mat, tat, rit, nib. All right, so now these last two lines are the four letters of Qalqalah randomly. We have nib, nib, lut, lid. Don't forget the dal is also one of the four that we've covered so far. Kij, dat, nuj, fi, ki, that's normal, fi and ki. Take note of the ki in the middle of the word here, the kaf, fi, ki, j, fi, kij, fi, kij, nut. So yeah, again, like you saw, I broke this up one letter at a time, and then I read it together in one breath. Okay, here we have thi, ja, j, thi, jaj, thi, jaj. Natlub. Here, qalqala on the ta and on the ba. Natlub, natlub. Rubab, rubab. Lirab. Ratban, ratban, ratban. No qalqala on the noon. So what are the letters of qalqala that we've seen so far? The ta, the ba, the jim, and the dal. All right? Right, that's it for the letter ta, alhamdulillah. Now, again, this is again, like I said, not anything new. It's just very similar to the alif. When the alif is found with sukoon, we read it as if it's a stop. Okay. So here we have, now normally imagine this hamza wasn't here, then we'd elongate the sound. It'd be lu, but because of the hamza being there, we recite it as lu, lu. Okay. Yeah, mi, ju, Again, these are just, combinations that we threw together for you to be able to recognize. Okay, you'll never really find this like this, the sheet like this. But anyways, if you know that there's a hamza there, you see the hamza and you see sukoon, you have to stop there, like, read it as if it's a stop. I always say like a stop sign, ta, thi, thi. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let's read this line now. Da. Okay, so there again, sometimes the hamza doesn't have anything that's carrying it. Yeah, it's the wow is carrying it. The wow, the wow, the wow. It's on top of a wow. Yeah, it's on its own. So that's also found sometimes. Da. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Khi, ru, ki, bu, sa, di. All right. And here we have again the alif with the sukoon. So we know that's the same thing, right? So we'll read this as shi, ni, lu, ma'thuratun, 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 ma'na, ma'na, ji'na, ji'na, ra, ra. Okay, last line. Here we have ma, and then dhu, then ba, then tin. Ma, dhu, ba, tin. This ta, we know there's two dots on top. So that's also a ta, known as ta marbuta. Ma'dhubatin. Ma'mal. I think we saw this one before. Ma'mal. Thi. Bu. Zi. Dhi. And lu. Okay. Again, just for the sake of keeping this video short, I'm not going to reread this. You can just pause it, play it again, replay it, and try to test yourself. You try to say the letter. For example, if we do this last line again, you try to read this. All right. So you say it, and then you press play, and then you listen to me say it. So I will just just for this line, ma'dhubatin. All right. So now you read it, and then you press pause. All right, and then you listen to my pronunciation and check if you've got it correct. Ma'mal. All right, and then do the same one with this. You press pause, you say it. So you press play, and then you listen if you pronounce it correctly. Bu, zi, dhi, and lu. So that's where we'll stop for today. We did the letter of Qalqalah, the letter ta, as one of the four that we've covered so far, and hamza with sukoon, which is exactly the same as the alif with sukoon. All right, in our next session, we will just practice this tanween. We know that the noon sakin, and this is important because for the next few tajweed rules, it's important to recognize a noon sakin and a tanween. So that's what we'll look at in our next lesson. All right, we'll look at noon sakin and tanween, and we'll look at these two lines for reading practice. Okay, and that's where we'll stop for now. We ask Allah to guide and protect us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.